Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, where did the time go? One day, you're chasing after kids or run to work meetings, and the next, the house is quiet, your calendar's a little more open, and the body just doesn't bounce back the way it used to. It's strange, isn't it? How life moves so fast, yet somehow morning seems slower now. And maybe, just maybe, you found yourself wondering, how do I make the most of the years I still have? That question, right there, is why we're here. Because no matter how old you are today, I want to tell you something important. You're not done. In fact, this chapter of your life might be one of the most powerful yet. You've got wisdom, experience, a deeper sense of what matters. And if there were ever a time to take care of yourself, to really start living with intention, it's now. So let's talk about something simple. Just one habit. A habit that could quite literally add years to your life. Not just more time, but better time. More energy, more laughter, more mornings where you wake up and say, I feel good today. And no, I'm not talking about some expensive supplement or complicated diet plan. I'm talking about something that costs nothing, but gives back in ways you wouldn't believe. This habit, are you ready for it? Is waking up every day with purpose. That's it. Waking up with something to look forward to. Something that pulls you out of bed with a little spark in your chest and a sense that you matter. Now, I know that might sound a little vague at first. Maybe even a bit too simple. But hang with me for a moment, because the science backs this up in a big way. Studies have shown that people over 60 who feel a strong sense of purpose actually live longer, have fewer health issues, and even sleep better. Their mind stays sharper, their body stays stronger, and their spirits brighter. But beyond the research, let's talk about real life. Think about the people you know who seem to be aging well. They're not always the ones running marathons or eating kale for every meal. Often, they're the ones who have something, no matter how small, that gives their day meaning. Maybe it's tending a garden, volunteering, walking the dog, calling their grandchildren, or even just sitting by the window each morning and watching the world wake up. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to feel important to you. Purpose gives your day structure. It gives your heart direction. And most of all, it gives you a reason to keep moving forward. So how do you find it? Start by asking yourself one simple question. What makes me feel alive? Not what you used to do. Not what someone else thinks you should do. But what brings you a sense of peace or joy or usefulness right now at this stage of your life? Maybe it's creativity. Have you always loved writing or painting or fixing things around the house? Maybe it's connection. Maybe you feel most fulfilled when you're talking to someone, listening to their stories, sharing yours. Maybe it's service, helping others, making someone's day a little easier. Or maybe it's learning, keeping your mind curious, reading, exploring new ideas. The beautiful thing is, your purpose doesn't have to be grand. It just has to be yours. Once you find it, or even just start noticing what lights you up, you build your mornings around it. You give yourself something to wake up for. That's where the magic begins. Let's say you love music. You don't have to go join a band. You could simply start your morning by playing your favorite songs. Let them fill the room while you stretch or sip your coffee. Let the melody remind you of who you are. Or maybe you've always loved nature. You could make it your morning ritual to step outside, breathe the fresh air, and notice the way the sky changes each day. These aren't chores. They're anchors. They remind you that your life is still happening, right now. And if you're not sure what your purpose is today, that's okay too. You can discover it gently. Try something new. Say yes to something small. Purpose doesn't always show up with trumpets. It often whispers. You might start by writing a few thoughts in a notebook each morning. How do you feel today? What are you curious about? Who's someone you'd like to reconnect with? These little reflections can lead you somewhere surprising. They open doors. You might also find that your purpose shifts with time. What mattered to you 5 years ago might feel different now. And that's not just okay. It's beautiful. It means you're growing. It means you're paying attention to the person you are today, not the person you used to be. And I'll tell you something else. Your purpose, no matter how quiet or personal it may be, is important to someone. You matter to the people around you more than you probably realize. A kind word from you, a story you share, your laughter, your patience, it all touches someone's life. That in itself is a purpose worth waking up for. Now, before we move on, I want you to try something. When you wake up tomorrow morning, before you even reach for your glasses or check the time, ask yourself, what can I do today that feels meaningful? It could be small, calling an old friend, organizing that drawer you've been avoiding, or taking a walk just to listen to the birds. Whatever it is, do it with intention. Let it set the tone for the rest of your day. Because that, my friend, is how you start building a life that not only lasts longer, but feels richer, fuller, and more alive. Now that we've opened the door to what purpose can do for you, let's explore how to make it part of your daily rhythm. Because here's the truth. A single moment of purpose in the morning can shape the entire rhythm of your day. But it's not just about having one uplifting thought and moving on. To really make this habit work, to let it add years to your life, you have to invite it into your routine. And that's where consistency becomes your quiet superpower. Think about your mornings right now. Are they peaceful? Scattered? Maybe you've gotten into a habit of waking up, turning on the TV, and sipping your coffee without really thinking. And there's nothing wrong with that. Routine can be comforting. But if that comfort turns into autopilot, you might be missing a chance to truly connect with your life. Now imagine this instead. You wake up, stretch your arms, and before your feet even touch the floor, you take a moment, just a few seconds, to smile and whisper something kind to yourself. Maybe it's, today is a gift, or I'm thankful for this morning. That simple act, that pause, creates space for presence. And presence is where purpose begins. From there, you ease into something meaningful. You could sit by a sunny window and read a passage from a book that inspires you. You could journal for 5 minutes about what you're looking forward to. Even brewing your coffee can become a mindful ritual. Listen to the sounds. Feel the warmth in your hands. Smell the richness. These little things, we overlook them so easily. But when you do them with awareness, they become grounding. They become reminders that this moment, right now, matters. And let me say this clearly. Having purpose does not mean your schedule has to be packed. You don't need to have a to-do list a mile long or fill every minute with productivity. Sometimes your greatest purpose for the day might be resting, taking care of your body, giving yourself a break. That's still meaningful. That's still living with intention. Purpose can also look like connection. Maybe you call someone you haven't spoken to in a while, or write a quick letter to a friend or family member. Those small acts of reaching out, they lift your spirit, and there's something powerful about being the reason someone else smiles. And in return, you'll notice your own sense of joy deepen. If you live alone, don't underestimate the impact of little routines that bring the outside world in. Maybe you step outside just to feel the air on your skin. Maybe you say hello to a neighbor or chat with the cashier at the store. These connections don't need to be long or deep to be valuable. They remind you that you are part of something bigger, that you belong. And while we're talking about the morning hours, let's not forget the role of movement. Now, I know some of you might have achy joints or stiffness when you get up. That's completely normal. But gentle movement, even just a few stretches, can do wonders for both your body and your mood. When your blood flows, your mind clears. When you move, even just a little, your body gets the message. We're still here. We're still going. If you're able, take a short walk, just around your home or out to the mailbox. While you walk, don't rush. Let yourself notice what's around you. Is there a breeze today? Are the birds singing? Is the sun peeking through the trees? Those tiny details pull you into the present. And again, being present brings you back to purpose. Now, let's take it one step further. Let's talk about nourishment. Because how you feed your body in the morning has a direct impact on your energy, your mood, and even your sense of motivation throughout the day. This isn't about going on a diet or making big changes overnight. It's about tuning in and choosing foods that support you. Maybe that means switching from sugary cereals to something heartier, like oatmeal with fruit or whole grain toast with a little peanut butter. Maybe it means adding a cup of herbal tea to your routine. something calming and soothing to ease into the day. The goal isn't perfection, it's presence. Eating with care tells your body, you're worth the effort. You deserve to feel good. And that's really what all of this is about. Living with purpose isn't about achieving something grand or impressing anyone else. It's about honoring your life, right here, right now. It's about saying this morning is mine, and I choose to live it with meaning. The beautiful thing is, once you start this habit, it builds on itself. You begin to notice how much calmer you feel, how much more grounded, how the little aches don't bother you as much, how your heart feels a bit lighter, your laughter a bit easier. It's not magic, it's momentum. And the more you lean into that, the more your days begin to reflect the richness of a life well lived. And here's a thought that might surprise you. People who carry a sense of purpose often report less loneliness, even if they live alone. That's because purpose fills the spaces that used to feel empty. It gives you something to hold on to when the house is quiet. It keeps you connected to yourself and to something greater. Whether you believe your purpose comes from faith, from family, from nature, or simply from being kind to others, it all counts. It all heals. It all adds time, joy, and depth to your life. So as you shape your morning around this habit, remember, there's no wrong way to do it. You're not behind. You're not late. You're exactly where you're meant to be. And every new sunrise brings a new chance to begin again. Next time you rise with the sun, ask yourself, what will make today meaningful for me? And then, gently, go do that thing, however small. Because those small, quiet acts of intention are what build a kind of life that lasts longer, shines brighter, and feels deeply alive. Let's keep going. Because when you start your day with intention, something shifts. You're no longer simply moving through time. You're making time work with you. That difference may seem subtle, but it can echo across your whole day, your whole week, and eventually your whole life. And perhaps the most beautiful part? This habit, this gentle, daily sense of purpose, isn't something that fades with age. If anything, it deepens. See, when we were younger, our days were often filled with responsibilities, jobs, raising children, chasing goals. Purpose was baked into the chaos. But now, in this chapter life, we get to choose what matters. That's a gift many people never realize they have. You have the freedom to create your own meaning, your own rhythm. And that's not just freeing, it's life-giving. Many studies show that seniors who live with purpose tend to live longer, healthier lives. It's not just about reducing stress or boosting immune function, although those things happen too. It's about the will to keep going, the desire to get up in the morning and do something, even something small. That spark? That's the habit we're talking about. And it's more powerful than any supplement, any expensive treatment, any trendy health hack, because it comes from within. Now, if you're thinking, but what if I don't know what my purpose is? You're not alone. That's such a common feeling, especially when life slows down. But purpose doesn't have to be one big thing. It doesn't have to be starting a charity or writing a book. Sometimes it's as simple as taking care of your plants, or feeding the birds outside, or baking your favorite recipe and sharing it with someone. Purpose can look like showing up for your grandkids, or being the smiling face that your neighbor looks forward to seeing every day. It's less about what you do and more about how you feel when you do it. And here's a gentle suggestion. If you ever feel like your days are blending together, try ending each one the same way you started, with intention. Before you go to bed, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, what made today meaningful? Maybe it was a quiet cup of tea, a short phone call, or the way the sun looked through the window. These aren't small things. They are the stitches in the fabric of a good life. Some folks find that creating a purpose journal helps keep this habit alive. It doesn't have to be long. Just a sentence or two each day. What you're grateful for, what made you smile, what you're looking forward to tomorrow. Over time, you'll start to see a pattern. You'll begin to recognize the parts of your life that bring the most joy. And then, naturally, you'll start seeking those moments out. That's when the magic really starts. Another powerful tool is volunteering. Even in small ways. If you're physically able, spending just an hour or two a week helping others, whether it's knitting for a local shelter, tutoring a child, or simply offering your presence at a community event, can breathe life into your days. It reminds you that you still have so much to give. And when you give, you grow. And if mobility is limited, or your days feel quieter than you'd like, don't underestimate the power of creativity. Art, music, writing, even gardening, these aren't just hobbies. They are expressions of life. They're ways of saying, I'm still here. I still have something to share. Every stroke of paint, every song you hum, every flower you tend, those are acts of purpose too. They matter. Let's not forget, either, that laughter and joy have a rightful place in this habit. A good laugh can be medicine. A silly joke, a favorite movie, a fond memory that makes you chuckle. These lift the spirit. When your days include lightness, it makes the heavy moments easier to carry. So don't hold back your laughter, your humor, or your delight. They are all part of the richness that purpose brings. Sometimes, though, purpose takes the shape of rest. Giving yourself permission to slow down, to breathe, to simply be, that's not wasting time. That's honoring your body and your journey. Even a quiet morning spent sitting in your favorite chair, wrapped in a blanket, watching the world outside the window, that can be deeply meaningful when it's done with awareness. You're not idle, you're present. There may be days when sadness or loneliness creep in. That's okay. Feeling low doesn't mean you've lost your purpose. It just means you're human. On those days, return to the habit gently. Do one small thing that makes you feel connected. Open a window. Listen to music that lifts your heart. Call someone, even if just to say hello. These simple steps don't erase the hard feelings, but they anchor you. They remind you that even on the tough days, your life still matters. And here's something truly important to remember. Your presence alone brings meaning to the people around you. You don't have to do anything flashy or dramatic to make a difference. Just by being you, by sharing your stories, your wisdom, your love, you shape the world in ways you may not even see. You are someone's comfort, someone's memory, someone's reason to smile. That in itself is purpose. So as you continue to build this habit, this quiet, steady ritual of beginning your day with intention, know that you're doing something powerful, something lasting. You're not just adding years to your life. You're adding life to your years. Let's take this feeling with us into the next breath, the next sunrise, the next step forward. Because the gift of purpose isn't something you chase. It's something you live one morning at a time. And what's truly beautiful is that the more you practice this habit of waking up with purpose, the more it starts to carry you. It becomes like a rhythm, a steady drumbeat that reminds you every single day that your life still has music in it. There's no rush, no pressure, just one moment at a time, one sunrise, one breath, one meaningful step. Sometimes purpose can be found in the quietest places, like when you're making your morning coffee and you pause to take in the aroma before that first sip, or when you water your houseplants and notice a new leaf starting to grow. These are tiny reminders that life is still unfolding. And so are you. And you know, as we age, the world sometimes tries to tell us to step back, to slow down, to fade into the background. But I think the opposite is true. This stage of life is when your voice matters more than ever. You've lived through decades of joy, heartache, change, and growth. That experience, that perspective, is a treasure, whether you share it through stories with family, through letters to old friends, or even just in the way you carry yourself each day. It has value. You have value. Purpose doesn't always show up with fireworks. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it's in the way you fold laundry with care, or the way you greet the mailman with a smile. It's in every small act of kindness, every moment of patience, every decision to keep showing up, no matter how the body feels, no matter how fast or slow the day moves. And you don't have to do it alone. If you ever feel like you're losing your footing, reach out, connect with others who are also on this path. Join a local group, attend a senior center event, or simply start a conversation with a neighbor. You'd be surprised how many people are looking for connection, just like you. Sometimes, helping someone else rediscover their purpose is the very thing that strengthens your own. One woman I once spoke with told me that her entire purpose came down to one thing: making her granddaughter laugh every day. That was her mission, Even on days when her knees ached or the weather was gloomy, she'd call or send a silly voice message, just to hear that little giggle. "That's my fuel," she said. "That laugh keeps me going." Isn't that beautiful? One tiny intention, repeated daily, changed her entire outlook. That's the power of a purposeful morning. You don't need a dramatic reason to keep going. You just need a reason that's yours. Something that gets you out of bed with a sense of, this matters. And if you haven't found it yet, that's okay. Give yourself space to explore. Maybe you'll discover it in your favorite chair, reading a book that stirs your soul. Maybe it's in a photograph you decide to frame. Maybe it's in teaching someone younger how to cook that recipe you've known by heart for 40 years. There's no right or wrong way to live with purpose. The only thing that matters is that it comes from you. And when you look at the bigger picture, this habit we've been talking about, it's not just about adding years to your life. It's about making every single one of those years count. Because what good is time if it isn't filled with presence, with meaning, with the quiet joy of knowing you're still growing, still giving, still alive? You've come so far already. Through change, through challenge, through triumph. You're not at the end of your story. You're in the part where the colors get richer, the pace gets slower, but the meaning gets deeper. That's worth waking up for. So tomorrow morning, before the to-do list, before the news, before anything else, give yourself that moment. Ask yourself gently, what matters today? Let the answer be simple. Let it be enough. And trust that this small habit, repeated day after day, has the power to change everything. Because the truth is, the number one habit that can add 5 years to your life isn't a secret at all. It's choosing to live each morning with purpose, with presence, with heart. And you already have everything you need to do just that. So here's to you, to your mornings, to your quiet strength, your steady kindness, your unwavering spirit. May each day be filled with meaning. May each step be taken with care. And may you always remember that the best years of your life aren't behind you. They're the ones you choose to live fully right now. If this video resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Share what gives you purpose, or how you've made your mornings more meaningful. Your story could be the spark someone else needs. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to our channel. We're building a community of people who believe that every age has something special to offer, and we'd be honored to have you with us. Until next time, take care of your heart, your mornings, and the life you're creating one beautiful day at a time. Here's to living your best life at any age.